Okay. Okay, we are in Siman Lamed Beis, Sif Zion. Behema shikoreres ragleha en choshishin shema nifsa kachut. We're discussing about, we're worried about, chashos about if the chula shedra, if the spinal cord was broken, snapped, cut, whatever you want to say. So if we see an animal walking, dragging its dragging its feet, right? So should we be worried about the fact that, well, maybe it's paralyzed or something and it can't it can't walk properly, it can't walk, it drags it, from the back end. This is any choshish shemanis. We're not choshish for it. Ella hagar ella aminan shigrona shigrona v'hu ke'ev raglayim nakta. That it's a ke'ev raglayim. Rashi over there is kranpa from French. Probably I think it's the same thing as we say cramps. That the animal has leg pain. It says cramps, and therefore it's dragging its feet, and not because it has a severe spinal injury. If it can't walk or whatever, we also not choshesh to hurt itself, whatever. Right, ches. That's only if there's no reisa. I mean, that it had a fall. Well, in that the reason why it's dragging his legs is because of severe injury, and not because it just has some leg pain. So the shaila is that so over there by the fula there, later on we'll see that there is a bedika that we have it walk dalamas. So over here also, let it walk dalamas, and the Shach says that if it's dragging its feet, that's not called halicha. Enechanami, if it was dragging its feet, it had a fall and it's dragging its feet, so those even if it goes even 20 amas, that's not called halicha. So therefore we're choshesh for that the chula shedra was cut. Right. So 1 second. Fine. So that's Siman Lamed Beis. Siman Lamed Gimel. Dinim nita alechi maka b'vesher. These are the dinim of where the top part of the digestive system, meaning the mouth and the esophagus, are damaged. Aleph nita halechi atachton. This is the tula, one of the tulas, that the bottom jaw is gone. Kshera, it's still considered a kshera. That's where it can live by the fact that he can feed it. That they can feed the animal still, even though it can't eat, but it can be fed into the back of its throat. So then that would be kosher. Who would I guess if he gave it an IV or I don't know whatever, it's not called the treifa. Haga v'chein of shenito chartumo v'yachal lichios lehamrav al alta kosher. Also, even an oaf, if it can be fed, even with missing part of its beak, that's okay. As long as, of course, that there's no ikra simani, and even if the lechi tachton is pulled out, but it doesn't necessarily, is gone, this bottom part of the jaw, as long as the simanim are still attached by the back of the throat, then so like I said, then that would be kosher. However, nital lechi ha'elyoin, if the top of the jaw is missing, Rambam Treifos v'roi lachol shedvarav, because the Rambam says that the Rambam says a tam that the bottom jaw is there to protect. I mean, besides eating, but also it protects as a function that it protects the pharynx and the back of the throat and the esophagus. So that's gone. You can still feed it. However, if the top of the jaw is gone, top of the jaw is there to protect the cornea, protect the trachea, the windpipe, and therefore, if it's open, so then it doesn't. Cold winds, all different types of cold air can suddenly go straight into the rhea, into the lungs, and it can die from bad air, from the Ram says from cold air, and it can die. It's sort of, I guess, it's sort of also a filter against against the air and stuff. So that's why it's like Rambam. According to the Rambam, then it would be called a treifa and very lachush the dvar, because the question in the Gemara says that it's nito alechi. Question is, what does it mean? The Rambam says it means alechi tachton. So Al Kopanim.
Alechi tachton means the movable.
Yeah, the bottom jaw. Right. Obviously, it's, so the Gemara points out that this is based in the fact that it says and the Gemara says that even though yes, someone like a cow whose jaw is gone, I mean is not going to really live that long. So the question is why is it mentioned in the Mishnah? So the Mishnah, there's two things which aren't mentioned. Either it's there's Shera, or that there's those things that Eish Alichios Klal Biyomo, like Nitol Alei, like it's missing its heart, right? So that's not mentioned in the Mishnah, but obviously it's a treifa because it's going to die. So therefore, okay, whatever. It's not going to live out the day. So so therefore, also if it's missing its upper jaw, I mean, how long is it going to live for? The reason it's a treifa is because, like I said, the breathing, it compromises its breathing. But lechi atachton is mentioned in Bichlal the Ksheros in the Mishnah, so therefore that's it's a little bit different. Gimel veshet turbets of veshet if the esophagus or the pharynx, right? We had a share explaining exactly what the turbets of veshet is. Shenikiv lechalalo if it's punctured through b'kol shehu in the vela. If it's punctured at all, then that's called the kiva, and that is a treifa, and it's treif. Because I guess eventually, once the esophagus is punctured, it can't even if it heals, it can't heal properly, and it's something which eventually is gonna open up, whatever it is, and that's gonna cause it will eventually die. It's not talking about ikor, it's talking about puncture. Dalid, and that's why in shchita, before actually shechted, if there's a puncture in the veshet, it's a treifa. Even in the middle of shchita, it's a treifa. Dalid shnei oyres eish veshet. There's two parts of the veshet, the inside and the outside. There's two, I don't even call membranes or whatever. The veshet is muscle. The esophagus is like smooth muscle, so there's two parts. There's the inner layer and the outer layer. The inner layer is white, and the outer layer is reddish. So, nikiv echad mehem sheira. If only one of them is punctured, it's kosher. Nikvu shneim asura. That's only so obviously. So if both of them are punctured, so then both of them are asur. Now feel alabo krum. Even if there's a scab on it, and therefore it got closed, the hole's closed up. Even if there's a nekev in the inner one, like here, and the outer one is over here. Afal pikein, it's also v'hu shenikvu shnei miruach echad, as long as they're both on the same part, the same side of the veshet. Efshad misrami adadi, pirush nizdami he's kaven yacham. That by the veshet, I guess since it's a muscle and it moves the food down, so the thing stretches, it opens and stretches and pulls and everything like that. So therefore, it's very possible that the inner layer might move at some point to the same spot parallel to the other hole, and then it's considered a puncture straight through, and that would be a treifa. Okay, first of all, it's a treifa, but yeah, I guess the point is that it could rip a hole in since I understand the pshat is since there's pressure, it expands from the food. If there's a hole, the whole thing can just tear open, or at some point it might tear open, it might be bigger and bigger. So if it, not just one time, if it often goes back and forth, so it's going to be a point in time where they're going to, when it's eating, where it's always going to keep on, getting to the weak point, and then it could open up. So that's what it says. Even if it's a krum, even if it's, I don't know about surgery, I don't know, whatever. But if it's a heel, even if there's a scab, it's not strong, and you're dealing with a pressure point, so it's not gonna stay forever. But this is only where we see that it became because of some sort of illness, who knows, whatever animal illness it could be, that it ate a hole in the veshet. But if we're choshesh that it was punctured by a needle or a thorn or something like that, afilu lo nikiv rakaplimi treifa. Even if just the inner one it has, you see there's a hole, it's treif. Techashinu shemanikiv gamachitzain. Rechoshesh something sharp. Rechoshesh that it went, why wouldn't it go if it punctured this? It went straight through. Gamachitzain veshet uveshet eino b'dika mibachutz. And the din is that a veshet, we can't tell if it was punctured mibachutz, because since it's red on the outside, so you're looking for a spot of blood, kort shildam, you're looking for a spot of blood. The bedika by a veshet, a puncture wound, is that if it was punctured, there'd be a teeny spot of blood. So on the inside it's white, so if it was punctured, you can see there's a spot of blood. But the outside, it's impossible, you can't see it's red, so you're not going to be able to see it. So we say, yefshar livdoik. So therefore, if you see that you see that there was a coat in the esophagus, and you see that there was a teeny puncture wound, there was a little hole in the white layer. So then we say it could be, since it's sharp, we're choshish that it went straight through, and since we can't tell, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to treif it up. Right. So. So 1 second. Any other lakuda here? Yeah. So therefore, that's why this is a yisoda here, and it will see in the veshet. Hey, oyos elu hachitzain eldom of timilom. That's why I told you that there would be mafarish a bit more, that these two layers of muscle, the outside is red and the inner is white. Ve'im nischalfu. If somehow or other you see that the inside, I don't think it means that it turns inside out. Obviously, that's not how that would happen even. And it's not going to live. But if the colors change, so then shachitzon lava and pnimi adaim treifa. Why? Because you can tell it's ill. There's an illness which is causing it to change colors, the outside, and whatever you see we see that there's something wrong with it, or the Ran says that it could be that it was damaged, that some sort of it could be it was attacked, and there's some sort of therefore it's spreading some sort of illness in the if it's red, that there's different reasons, and even if it's even if both of them are red or both of them are white, we also choshish that there was some sort of problem with it, and therefore it's treif, and it's only if it's rove, and not if it's a little part. If it's a little part, then we're okay with that. Chenim shneim adurim levanim treifa. Right. That's what I mean. Hagab v'kol shekenim yesh lo shnei veshtim or shnei kanim the treifa, and of course, if the animal, for some reason, is called a Chernobyl or behema, so it has two two esophagus, two windpipes or whatever. So therefore, it is we say that anything has an extra limb is called is ki'ilu. They don't even the first one doesn't function, and it's ki'ilu. It's not there, and therefore it's considered treif. Vav. Veshet ein lo bedika mi b'chutz. A veshet, it does not have. There's no, like we said before, there's no bedika on the outside. Eitzel drusa. So the Gemara says that the real core of the fact that there's no bedika mi b'chutz is by a drusa. That if it got attacked by an animal and we're hoshish that the claws went in to the behema. So what happens is shetzricha bedika. Let's read this. Shekima shu adam ain't odem haaras nikerbo. That what happens in drusa, which seems to be from the way that the Chazal understand, or at least Al Panim, Rashi understands, is that when the animal attacks, so then the claws go in. And then in some sort of ara, some sort of eris, right? Eris, some sort of venom or poison, some sort of poison. I don't want to say venom. Some sort of poison goes into the animal and causes some sort of infection of some sort. Right. So that's what Ravari Carmel writes in the footnote in the end of Michlam Eliyahu. He writes that Haraya brings something called cat scratch disease. The cats that scratch people can get like an infection, some sort of infection. So he says that that's the pshat over here, that when an animal attacks, it causes infection, and that's the aras. The truth is, if you look in the Gemara, if you look in the Gemara, I mean the Gemara doesn't say the word eris. It's Rashi who says it. So obviously the Rishonim are relying on Rashi, and this is Rashi's understanding of it. I didn't check and see if other Rishonim say a different pshat in the Gemara, that it's not eris, that the kilo is injecting something. If there's another mahalach, I looked around, I didn't see, but I want to look a little bit more and get into actual drusa. But al kopanim, what it does cause some sort of infection which turns red and it spreads. So therefore, by the veshet, if it got attacked by the veshet, we can't tell since the outside is red, we can't tell if there's if the infection, if there's an infection there. So Kate said yes. So what do you do? Im ofu bodek. You check the kone mibachutz. You check the kone, not the veshet. V'shachto, and then you shechte. V'achar kach mahapech haveshet. Then you take the veshet and you turn it inside out. Ubodko mibifni, and then you check the white layer on the inside, and you check it. V'im behemohi ein la takana. If it's obviously you don't slice it down the middle because it wouldn't help. You have to carefully flip it inside out. V'im behemohi ein la takana. But a behema, there's no takana because you have to cut the veshet also in order to be kosher. Once you cut the veshet, you say, well, maybe there was it was punctured. It was punctured by the spot you shechted it, so there's nothing you could do. Aga uladidan ein lanu bekim bedika af oif ein la takana. The Ramah says later on by drusa we don't have a bedika, and I said most of the treifos. That the Gemara says a specific type of bedika. The Ramah says Einan Bekim. We don't know, and we don't really understand how to do we don't have a Messiah and how to go ahead and do the bedika for the time of the Gemara. So therefore, doing this bedika won't work. Obviously, if there's some other way, medical science or something, you could check it. That's some sort of MRI or I don't know something like that. It could be it will work, but al kopani in this type of bedika that we don't rely on. Zion, inyan nekev nami ein leveshet bedika bibachutz el b'ifneim, not just by drusa, but even by any nekev, any puncture. We can't tell on the outside. Obviously, you see a hole, you see a hole, But the point is that we're choshesh that if there's a little puncture, you're going to see a little spot of blood, and that we can't tell on the outside. So therefore, there's no bedika mibachutz, only b'ifneim.
We do, and we became in that.
So that's just checking. Yeah, that is that in a chanami. That we can see with our eyes. It's not any of the bedikas where it says open it up and there's a whole process. And it says in the Gemara like that. It says the Gemara says we don't know how to do it. But just checking for a spot of dam, that we could do. And this anyway, it's only a chashash. It's a chashash l'chumra. So therefore, anyway, we're being machmir. Ches oiv haba lefanenu. If a chicken comes to us with savar beluchach badam, let's say it's all neck is all bloody. Yeah, before shchita, right? Ein choshish the suffix drusa. We're not choshish for that it was attacked. Right, the Kohen in Zion, that's where the other halachas of drusa is. Leave the kol halal. We're not choshish, and there's a drusa. You have to go check the whole innards of the chicken to be sure there's no spot of blood. Choshish in the suffix in the kuva, but we are choshish that maybe there's a puncture in the veshet. Leave the makam maluchlach in the spot where it's bloody. That you would need to check that spot to see if there is a puncture. Right? Hagav yesh oisin kolaov. Again, where some are achmir and aser the whole chicken or behema that tzavar meluchach badam the chashin and the kivas aveshet. Hinel bekim v'chein again. We're choshesh if we see there's blood, and we're choshesh that there is that we're going to check neged the makom. We don't know where exactly it was punctured. We say we're not. If we're not. There's an issue if you don't know where it is. So then that's harder. Even if we know, well, this is bloody over here, we can just check here. The Rama says that we're not bekim enough for that, and therefore we're going to treif it up. L'chumra, if its neck is bloody because of a suffix nekuva, not because of suffix drusa. I think we'll stop here.